Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question comes to us straight out of the Judge Vault. Amy sacrifices 3 Narcomoebas to flash back a Dread Return and reanimates a Golgari Grave Troll. How many +1/+1 counters does Golgari Grave Troll get? Assume there are no cards in Amy's graveyard other than the ones mentioned. Okay, so the first important fact to notice is that Golgari Grave Troll's ability that puts +1/+1 counters on it is a replacement effect. This means it applies immediately before the event that it replaces, such that a modified event happens instead. In this case, Golgari Grave Troll entering the battlefield gets replaced with it entering the battlefield with some +1/+1 counters on it. The next important fact that we'll need to answer this question is that there is no in-between zone. Golgari Grave Troll moves directly from Amy's graveyard to the battlefield. There is no time during that process where that card exists anywhere other than those two zones. Therefore, immediately before the Golgari Grave Troll enters the battlefield, it's still in Amy's graveyard. Putting this together with the previous important fact, we can say that when the game is determining how many +1/+1 counters to put on this card, there are 4 creature cards in Amy's graveyard, 3 Narcomoebas and the troll itself. Therefore, the Golgari Grave Troll will get 4 +1/+1 counters. Now, whenever I talk to someone about this scenario, even if they fully understand the reasoning and agree with the ruling, it's very common that they'll think it's stupid that it works out this way. So let's talk about that. Would it be possible to change the wording of Golgari Grave Troll so that it would not count itself? Well, if we made the ability that puts the counters on it a triggered ability, like this Moldgraph Millipede, we could. This new wording would count how many creatures were in your graveyard during the resolution of that triggered ability, which would be after the Golgari Grave Troll entered the battlefield. There's just one problem. The troll would enter as a 0/0, and then the counters would get put on it. The reason Moldgraph Millipede couldn't be a 0/0 is because it would die with the triggered ability on the stack before the counters could get put onto it. It needed to have some nominal toughness so that this issue wouldn't kill it. Now, even if we put that aside, the obvious intention with the Golgari Grave Troll is that it would enter as a creature of the appropriate size, not enter as a small creature and get counters put on it afterwards. Otherwise, it would be possible to play a removal spell against Golgari Grave Troll in response to it getting counters, such that it would be impossible to regenerate it. Unfortunately, the only way that you could accomplish this is if the game counts how big it is before it enters the battlefield. And because there is no in-between zone, like we talked about earlier, the game counts its size before it enters the battlefield, and the Golgari Grave Troll will therefore count itself. The only way around this issue would be if the Golgari Grave Troll specifically excluded itself, for example by saying it entered with a counter for each other creature card in your graveyard, or something similar. This wording isn't ideal either because it's a bit confusing anytime the Golgari Grave Troll is entering normally, i.e. not from your graveyard. Referencing each other creature card in your graveyard kind of implies that the troll is entering from there too, and I could definitely see it leading to some confusion about whether it would still get +1/+1 counters if it enters from the stack or from somewhere else. It's kind of unsatisfying, but all the obvious ways to fix this issue end up breaking something else even worse. That's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling. Until then, I hope you have a great day.